And along with those chapters, the four basic prompts that you'll find in Seminar 4.2 will be on the following: democracy and the idea of double consciousness, democracy and history, democracy and education, and democracy and representation. So let's now look at the text, and I'll give you some riffs on both the required chapters you have to read and um, the Seminar 4.2 prompts. So looking at the text now, let's expand it a little bit. So it's a good text, this Oxford World Classics version of it. The introduction and the notes are excellent. So here you see the notes. So this text, this annotated version is in the workshop version, workshop part of the module 4.0. And if we scan ahead, right, um, we see, let me go back a little further here. Yes, what I want to go back to. So at the end of the introduction, you have a chronology of Du Bois's life. So this is part of the editorial apparatus. So this is useful in terms of not only contextualizing Du Bois, but also all the history that he's talking about or he's going over. And so, there's a lot of American history that you should know in order to know this text, especially sort of Civil War and Reconstruction, Jim Crow era history. But you probably had it at some point in your career. You just need to remind yourselves what it is. And so this chronology of Du Bois not only gives you his background, his life, but also the important events that happened during his life. So it's a good reminder. Also, this is there's good information in the notes, right? The notes at the end of the text, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but they also give you some helpful reference. I would say another thing to do is, um, scan maybe the first two chapters of Howard Zinn, um, or the chapters dealing with African American history and Howard Zinn's The People's History, as well as the relevant chapters in Ibram Kendi. So they give sort of useful reminders of what the history is that you need to know going into the text here. Okay, so looking at the text, so I'll come back to the forethought in a second. I want to look at the chapters that we're going to read. I'll say a few things about these.